think we're live. We're gonna find out in just a minute, but we'll go ahead and play our opener just in case.
Oh, I'm wearing that shirt.
Well, I wore this the whole rest of the time when I wasn't wearing that shirt, so and that's only because I bought that shirt in that photo. I was actually thinking we should start doing this.
Oh yeah.
Like
after it ends, just be like this.
Right. Hey. So hello and welcome back to If It Were Up to Us, the podcast where we have zero authority, no filter, and more Disney ideas than anyone asked for. I am your host, Chrissy. This is my co-host, Stephanie. Hey, Steph, how you doing tonight?
Hey. I'm just laughing because we had a whole conversation about our shirt before we even did.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's
Look, like I said, these are like podcasts after dark where you just never know what you're going to get.
You really don't know. We don't know what we're going to give. Honestly.
Nope, we have no idea. And that's fine. That's fine. But like I was saying, we only have hopefully a few more weeks of these really late night ones because we're moving at the beginning of June. And I'll have an office where we can podcast from and not be like, I'm going to say not be interrupted by children, but I'll be interrupted by children. That's, yeah. But hopefully we can contain them for like an hour every other week upstairs. So
there we go.
We don't have that opportunity here. But hey, how are you? What's going on in your world?
Not much. Honestly, not much. I feel like nothing super exciting. My daughter's dance recital, week, the week leading up to it is just chaotic. But it's so fun. That's next week. So I'm very excited. It's just so cute. And honestly, I just prepare myself to cry every time because every year the senior girls dance with their fathers on the stage. And it gets me every time. And I'm like, okay.
I've never even seen it. And I'm like on the verge of tears. Like, that's so sweet.
I don't know what it is about it. It just always gets me. So, but it's adorable. I can't wait to see her.
I love that.
And I volunteer, so they do 2 shows because there's just that many people that like want to come watch and stuff. And I watched the first one and then I volunteer for the second one. So I get to help backstage and it's so fun. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And does that happen like same time every year or is it?
Yeah, so it's like always the second or third week in May. But yeah, they worked all season cute. On the dances. It's just adorable. And my mother-in-law is dancing this year because they have adult classes. Yeah, so it'll be fun.
That's fun. My sister was in dance and I remember her having like recitals and there'd be like 3 or 4 of them and it was like every time I was like, do we have to do all of them? And yes, we did. So, but yeah, but then it got to the point where like I had friends in high school who danced in the older classes and she was obviously in the younger ones. And so, that was kind of fun, but well, that's cute. Well, and it sounds like, I know from our kind of off pod chats, things are slowing down for you. So hopefully life won't be as nuts for a little while for you.
Sure.
Well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well.
So what's going on in your world?
God, what isn't? I've just decided that whoever decided, spoiler alert, it was me, to move and go on a cruise at the same time was an idiot. So let's just put that out there. At the same time that like pre-K and preschool stuff is like wrapping up and yeah, so it's gonna be a crazy next couple of weeks. Like we're on our cruise next week, so we'll be doing that. And so I've spent the last few weeks trying to get ready for it and pack up and like I have like the panic order stuff coming in this week and just trying to get everything together. Then literally the day after we get back, so like we fly in late on Monday, that Tuesday, we have our final walkthrough at the house. and the kindergarten welcome walks at the new elementary school that my son will be going to in the neighborhood. So it's like, okay, well, now, so we're like literally just like jumping right into all the things. And yeah, we will miss kindergarten graduation, which makes me sad, but or like pre-K graduation.
Yeah.
So but the daycare was super wonderful, and they were like, we're gonna get you everything ahead of time. So like when we go on the cruise, we'll have his little cap and gown and his little
Oh,
diploma,
are you gonna
and
take it to take pictures?
yeah. So I'm gonna
Good.
hopefully do that, and yeah, I don't think Mickey can give like him his diploma,
No,
but
probably
hopefully he can
not.
take a picture with it with him. So
Yeah.
yeah, but
That's so
yeah,
cute.
I'm like, oh, poor
Oh, we have
kid.
a viewer, and they are wishing us a happy early Mother's Day.
Oh, that's so
Thanks, that is
sweet.
Sunday. Listen, I'm prepared.
Yeah.
I'm Frank.
Oh, it's of course it's Frank. Like
I'm
Frank hangs out
Frank.
with us late at night. He might
Yes,
be the only
yes,
person
yes.
awake at this hour. But
Um,
well, thanks, Frank.
yes. I'm prepared for Mother's Day because I did it early because I knew that that's what I would say. I go, oh yeah. And my mom will
Right.
be back from her cruise on
Right.
Sunday.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Good for you. My birthday is also on Sunday, so it's like a double whammy. And I I keep forgetting that one of them exists. Like I'll remember it's Mother's Day, forget it's my birthday, or like remember it's my birthday,
Forget
forget
that
it's
one
Mother's
of them
Day. Yeah.
exists.
Like it just they're just one and the same now. But I grew up spent like sharing my birthday every so often with Mother's Day, so I have gotten in the habit of pre-ordering my mother something or setting a very low expectation that year and letting her know she's going to get it late. So this year I was on top of it, and I sent the Mother's Day gifts out, and they got there today. And I got a very sweet text from my mother saying she had gotten it. So, um,
Good.
yeah, one of these days, or like it's the one
Also,
year, I'll
I
be
feel
prepared.
like your birthday trumps Mother's Day.
I mean, I feel like it's just like extra me. You know what I mean? Like now that I'm a mom, it's just extra my day. So, yeah,
Are you
but
gonna do
yes.
anything for your birthday?
We're gonna go walk through our house and mark things before we leave because we want to make sure the contractor sees them. Um, no, I mean I did the thing that I told my husband. I was like, I just want you to carve out time on vacation for me to sit and read a book. That's all I want. Uninterrupted, just find time for me to not be responsible for anybody else. And I think that's what every mom wants, to be honest with you. I mean, you
Yeah.
can tell me if I'm wrong, but
No.
we don't want to have to plan anything, and we don't have to want to be responsible for anybody. So, yeah.
Okay, so I have to tell you something. You know, in our little agency back chat, and
Mm-hmm.
everyone was the question or whatever was like, what would be your dream job if pay
Mm-hmm.
didn't matter? And here I am trying to think of something. And I think one of our fellow agents put being a mom. And I was like, wow, I feel horrible because that was not even remotely on any of the few things. Guys,
Yeah.
I love being a mom.
Mm-hmm.
I love my kids, but that's just not where my mind went. And I was like, wow, I
Mm-mm.
feel like a POS.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez,
I
oh
think no, you
man.
know what? I think I saw that too, and they were like, "But I want to be paid for it." Or somebody said the same thing too, and they were like,
Yes.
"But I want to be paid for it." And I was like, "Now that I could do,
Yes.
like I would not mind
Yes.
that." But yes,
Yes.
no, no, that was not mine either. Mm-mm.
I was like, wow,
No.
my brain just didn't go that way.
Well, that's like when you posted in one of your groups, and you were like, "What's something new important you've forgotten on a trip?" And I was like, "My kids." I have never forgotten my children anywhere. Let me
No.
be clear. Unlike my own mother, who did that once or twice, three times, um, to me. Backstory. We're gonna tangent here. I played the cello in elementary school, and they would not let me take the cello on the bus, so my mother had to come get me, which was a deviation from her usual routine. And so, on the days when I had cello class, she had to come and get me, and she would frequently forget that I was not riding the bus that day. So she used to have to put bright neon paper on the oven in the kitchen that said, "Pick up Chrissy." And then she wouldn't forget.
Honestly,
And
you are your mother. So
Like, that tracks.
yeah, yeah.
Now that I'm a
Doesn't
mom, I'm
surprise
like, I
me.
don't blame you. No.
Yeah, no.
Nope. So, well, do we have Disney news?
You know what? I was thinking about this when I was in the shower tonight. I was like, Chrissy and I, when we were doing our pre-record, we're like, oh, we'll talk about
Mom
that
said
on our
only forgot
live.
you twice. Sorry, Mom. Only twice.
Man,
But she learned from it and she figured it out and then she remembered.
that's
So,
right. Listen, yeah.
yeah. I mean, the neon paper was her Alexa. Can I be honest? Like,
Yes.
yeah. Anyways. So anyways, you were saying you were thinking about it tonight.
Yeah, and I was like, we said we would talk about whatever the news was on our live, and I don't remember what the news was.
I think it was Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party
Oh.
and dates being
That seems like
announced.
old news now.
It seems like it was so long ago. But because I'll be on the cruise next week, we had to pre-record way earlier than we usually do,
Yes.
and yes, it was a thing. And so we were like, well, we'll talk about it, but yes, so we have our dates for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Pricing or tickets became available on 2 days ago, Tuesday, right? Today's Thursday,
Yeah,
Tuesday, the 5th,
right?
for resort guests. So if you don't have a resort reservation, you cannot book your tickets yet. And so, yeah, I think that's kind of the biggest news of all. We don't have a lot of details around what it's going to look like just yet. That'll come here later in the late summer. But are honestly probably not too far off from where we are now because tickets, like the parties start early August, which is
A
the
week
earliest
earlier
I've
than I
ever
feel
seen
it. Yeah.
it. Yeah.
I was really
So-
thinking the first one would be like the week I'm on my cruise, like that Friday, right after I get
Yeah.
off. And I was like, oh, we could go to the first one. But it's the week ahead. And I was like, oh, okay. We're doing
Yeah, it's
this.
like really early. It's weird because I feel like they're gonna go right from the end of Flower and Garden over at Epcot, like almost basically into Halloween. Like that's mind-boggling to me. Because Flower and Garden goes here till the end of June, and then it's just like, oh, July, and then bam, right
Yeah.
into Halloween. And you know all the decor is gonna be up prior to the first party, so I mean we're almost talking about 1st of August there being decor up. So yeah. Which I don't mind. I love the like
No.
fall vibes and the Halloween
Same.
decor. So they could honestly leave that up all year.
Maybe
I'd
not
be
all
fine with that.
year.
Yeah, maybe not, but yeah, I do. I love it. I think it's great, and I mean, I don't think that them adding in days for the party is necessarily going to spread out those crowds, though. Like, I think I don't think anybody's changing or moving their dates up necessarily to be part of that first party. I think
No.
the majority of crowds for that first one are going to be annual pass holders and vloggers and all the people that
Yep.
do that kind of stuff. And so, but then I think the rest of them are probably going to be typical crowds. So, yeah, you're going to see the most crowds that first party and the one on actual like Halloween. So,
Yeah, I was gonna see, have any of the dates sold out? When I checked yesterday, they hadn't.
not that I know of, but I haven't checked since that first day.
It probably will happen on the 12th when they're released to everybody.
Yeah, because like I said, all those locals, annual pass holders and whatnot are going to be grabbing
Yeah.
up tickets then. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep, yep, yep.
That is still one of my favorite parties, though. So,
I need to do it again. I haven't done it since 2018.
yeah,
So I feel
last
like I
one
need to-
was 2019.
Because now they have projections with the fireworks. When I went in 2018, it was just basically like wishes, just color changing.
Yeah.
And maybe like things projected like bats flying around or something, but not like, full detail
Yeah.
type things. So I know the fireworks have changed. Parade's the same.
Also, if you watch the Boo to You parade, like the rest of the day I'm singing Boo to You, you
Oh,
know,
well, don't
I
start
just,
it
I can't.
now.
I know. Sorry. I'm sorry if I got that stuck in your head.
It's fine. I'm gonna be
Um,
in bed tonight, like, boo, to you.
it's just so catchy.
It
Um,
is.
so okay, well, yeah. I mean, other than that, that was kind of the big news that came out, and everybody was making a fuss over. The only other thing that I saw was a man jumped out of
Oh
the
my gosh.
safari ride at Animal
Yes.
Kingdom to go
What?
pee. Like, what on earth? People, get it together.
And
I
I
cannot.
didn't
I
look hard
cannot.
enough, but it was it at the end when sometimes you get blocked up, not giving an
No.
excuse for this, or was it at the
Um,
very beginning?
no, I
Yes.
think it was kind of at the beginning. After you
Yeah.
see, okay, so Dapper Manatee used to be a cast member, and so he was kind of talking about exactly where it was, and it's between two, um, enclosures per se.
Yeah.
And so, like, weirdly enough, if you're gonna jump out, which you should not, if you're gonna jump out,
Ever.
that was like the safest place to do it. But then he was also talking about how the cast member, his roommate was a cast member who was a safari driver, and they're instructed to just leave you behind. Like, the fact that that man was able to get back onto the vehicle was nuts because, yeah, they're instructed to leave you behind.
And,
And
like, he had a kid on there.
yeah,
Like, 'cause you
yeah,
can hear her yelling, "Daddy, hurry up," or something. And I'm
yeah.
like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you couldn't figure it out? That's
Yeah,
wild.
yeah.
It's wild. And I feel like for me, I don't care how bad I had to pee. I do not. I love animals. I do not trust animals enough to jump out.
No,
Them
no.
rhinos
Mm-mm.
and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
They're like,
No.
ooh, something to chase around.
Right. Yeah.
Also, I
No,
would
something
never
new.
do it because I don't want to get banned for life from Disney.
Right. I am following all the rules
I
and
pee my
regulations.
pants
Yeah.
first.
Hmm. Yeah. Disney would probably give me new pants after that. Like, come on.
Yes.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not. It's so crazy.
So, and also, if you have to pee that bad, just tell a cast member. They'll let you right back in the line. Like, leave, go pee, come back. Like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop. It's not worth it, friends. So yeah, I think that's all the Disney news. If we missed something, you can let us know in the comments. But we'll just get into today, or should I say dive in today, because we're doing a deep dive. And I was telling Stephanie before this, I'm really, really excited for this. I am not a Star Wars person. I really did get into the Mandalorian series on Disney Plus. But other than that, I don't really know a whole lot about this world and this universe and the rest of it. Like, I just don't. It's not a fandom that I have. But I had so much fun researching this and learning things about Star Tours. Um, that like I'm now gonna have to go back and get on it, even though it is one of the most nauseating rides for me at Disney. So, yeah, I'm really excited to get into it. But before we do, for if you have not listened to our previous episodes where we talk about Star Tours, do you want to just kind of give people our opinion on Star Tours before I deep dive? Um,
Sure.
yeah. Okay.
We're not big fans. Okay, the ride is not bad. It's actually really innovative for its time.
Mm-hmm.
It's very cool. If you're a Star Wars fan, it's pretty neat. I love the aspect of having C3PO, like
Mm-hmm.
actually an animatronic sitting there, and then also the screen. It's cool. I love the whole spy on board, and it
Yeah.
changes. Has your husband been a spy? Because if he's always the
No,
last floor
nope.
guy.
He doesn't get called for that. He's just the last floor guy. Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
think I feel like maybe I'm making this up, but I feel like my son was once.
Hmm.
But I don't know. Maybe that was just something like I hoped happened. I don't know.
Yeah.
Very very fun, and it's like another that guy type of thing, and you're
Yeah.
just sitting there hoping that somebody in your party is. But it's a simulator, and this one even more so than some of the other can be very nauseating, especially for me if I don't have anything in my stomach.
Yeah.
But there's different scenes, and they keep adding more, it seems, like in the
Mm-hmm.
last few
Yeah, I'm going to talk
years.
about that. Mm-hmm.
And so it's fun, and it's usually different every single time you ride it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's cool, and I like that it's not the same every time because there's a lot of rides that don't change.
Yeah.
So, and there's no
I
pre-show.
will, yeah.
Or is
And,
there?
and
No, there's not.
no, mm-mm. No, I think at one point there might have been when I was doing a couple of like POV watching and stuff. There is a space between where you're kind of held and then you kind of walk down a thing and then you get into then the doors open for the actual ride vehicle. And as of late it seems like that area is dark. So I don't know if there was something there or was planned to be something there. I could not find that in my research. But yeah, no, there really is not very. It's almost like the queue itself becomes the pre-show.
And I like
So
the queue. The queue is really cool.
I agree,
And
and it should be because I have the price tag of what it cost, and I will tell you that. Um,
that's cool.
yeah,
Just to think, like, this is all big Star Wars fans got for years, was this
years,
ride.
years, like 30 plus years, like
Like, this is
craziness.
all there
Yeah,
was. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, well, I guess we'll just dive right into today's deep dive.
Okay.
So today, like we said, we're talking about Disney's first non-Disney attraction, Star Tours. As usual, we're going to be going all the way back in time to the late 1970s with our good friend. We have a live studio audience tonight, and he's trying to figure out if he goes to the kitchen to get himself like a snack, if he's going to be in the background. Hi, honey. You're good.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, he's like,
We're
sorry.
not professionals here.
No, no, sir, we're not. Okay, so to the great Tony Baxter, who was planning an expansion at Disneyland called Discovery Bay. Now, if this sounds familiar, I'm hoping it does because you've listened to our previous episodes where we talked about this expansion and this land. When we talked about Journey into Imagination. So, one of the other headlining attractions that Baxter wanted to put in Discovery Bay was called Captain Nemo's Adventure, and it was a simulator based ride taking guests underwater on a Nautilus style submarine boat thing. The idea for the land was eventually scrapped, as we learned in the last episode, for a number of reasons. But this particular ride was like did not have the technology that it needed because that it didn't exist at that time. But we learned in a previous episode, good ideas never go to waste, do they? So in the late 80s, Imagineers were looking for a new attraction for Tomorrowland, and Baxter again proposed a simulator-based ride that could potentially be themed after one of the new movies that Disney was getting ready to put out. The movie he kind of targeted for this ride was going to be based on the movie The Black Hole. Unfortunately, it flopped at the box office alongside other recent Disney releases, making the idea a lot less tangible to basically theme a ride after a movie. So, but instead of dismissing the simulator based ride altogether, head of Imagineering at the time, Marty Sklar, Baxter, and then CEO Ron Miller decided to make use of an existing relationship with George Lucas that had stemmed from when Lucas had was involved with the Captain EO, the 3D film space musical that starred Michael Jackson that was over at Disneyland for a period of time. Um, I wanted to go down a rabbit hole on that, and I had to stop myself. So don't worry.
Like, back up.
I didn't do that, but I
Stay
but I
on
might.
task.
If you want to hear that, yeah, there were no side quests in this one.
Well, you saw me go, huh? What?
Yeah, right.
What was
Yeah,
that?
I saw it. Like, if you want to hear more about that, let me know, and I'll put together something for another episode. Anyways, Lucas was actually really excited to work like on a Disneyland project, especially in the Tomorrowland space. He was actually quoted in a promotional like video for Star Tours later on that he thought Tomorrowland had always been less than what it could have been, and he was really excited that he was going to have an opportunity to bring like his storytelling and characters into the parks. So with Lucas on board, the Imagineers began planning. However, just a short 6 months later, Ron Miller would be ousted as CEO, and on came Michael Eisner and Frank Wells. Now, Eisner, we know from previous episodes in our history deep dives, he really wanted to bring more thrilling attractions to the parks. So at the time, the simulator plans were changed. One of the ideas was for a roller coaster that you could kind of choose your own adventure, kind of had that like choose your own adventure vibe, with two different endings. But there simply wasn't enough room or physical space in the park, which we know because it's such a limited space. That's when an Imagineer remembered that they had seen a roller coaster simulator before, kind of based on the simulators that pilots would use, but it was like for a roller coaster. However, the version that Baxter and Marty Sklar went out to see was more local fare quality than Disney theme park. But Baxter could really see the potential. So they went back and they pitched a Captain Nemo simulator ride, but this time it was going to be Star Wars theme. Guests would be taken on a space tour through the Star Wars universe. Eisner loved it, gave them the green light, and Disney purchased 4 military and space grade motion simulators for $500,000 each. The simulators could provide 6 degrees of freedom, rotate and pivot on multiple axes, and could mimic changes in G-force. The machine shop at Disney would take that technology, develop a 40-person ride vehicle, and put a motion picture projection system on board. Lucas and his team at Industrial Light and Management would produce the film shown on that projection system. They ended up using the same kind of old school modeling and film process as they did with the movies for the short 5-minute film. It ended up proving to be just as challenging as the full-length films because the scenes needed to be cut strategically so that the whole thing would appear as one seamless journey. And the film ended up costing $6 million to produce for a 5-minute film.
My goodness.
Once the two were completed, the ride vehicle on the simulator and the film, it had to be synced. Like the film had to be synced to the simulator. To do this, a programmer sat in the simulator using a joystick to mirror what was happening on screen. And they did it in the Imagineering parking lot.
Oh, wow.
So after all that was done, all they had to do was convert the outdated Adventures Through Inner Space attraction building. The simulator and hydraulics were installed within the building, and then the vehicle with the seats and projection system was lifted into place through openings in the roof. Altogether, the ride cost Disney $32 million, which is like crazy. Star Tours opened in a lavish ceremony on January 9th, 1987. If you've seen the Imagineering story, you know what happened. The park stayed open for 60 straight hours. Many guests arrived in costume and stood in 4-hour-long lines that extended all the way down Main Street. If you were one of those guests, here's a little bit more detail around what you got to experience opening day and that original attraction. As they entered the queue, guests were brought into the story, taking on the role of a space tourist. And if that sounds familiar, well, wouldn't you know it, they kind of themed Space Mountain after that too. Through the holding area that was modeled to look like a spaceship boarding terminal. The area was full of animatronics, including versions of R2-D2 and C-3PO, as well as a mock-up of the Star Speeder 3000, the starship that they'd soon be boarding for their tour to the Forest Moon of Endor. Now, the figures in the original queue were actual props from the movies that were retrofitted to be like via animatronics or audio animatronics. Two of the other animatronics were actually just the mechanical skeletons from the geese from the America Scenes attractions. So they also used these same geese when they did Splash Mountain. So these geese got a lot of use, okay? Like they were everywhere. um, once
Used
on
keys.
board, yeah, I mean, they did. Um,
That's funny.
once on board this starship vessel, guests were introduced to the inexperienced and significantly incompetent droid pilot named RX-24, nicknamed Rex, who outlines the trip he'd planned as he gets up and C-3PO and R2-D2 are loaded on board. Now, Rex was voiced by actor and comedian Paul Rubens. Does that name ring a bell to you?
No.
No, me either. But the second that I heard it, I was like, oh, if you don't know him by his actual name, you probably know him by his most famous character, Pee Wee Herman. Um,
Oh,
mm-hmm,
yeah. Okay.
mm-hmm, yep. Rex begins his spiel by acknowledging that this is probably the first flight that guests have taken, and then informs them that it's also his first flight too. All is well until a slight mistake by Rex turns the flight chaotic very quickly, and guests find themselves plummeting towards a maintenance yard. Um, and then Rex manages to escape into the open space at the last minute, just as a giant mechanical appendage nearly crushes the ship. Once in open space, R2-D2 activates light speed, and the simulator tilts backwards to simulate the feeling of going light speed and kind of simulate those G-forces, right? Unfortunately, the ship does miss its intended stop, and guests find themselves caught in a comet and like asteroid field. A massive comet consumes the ship, and Rex has to navigate through mazes and tunnels, and a maze of like tunnels and chambers to find the way out. Just when the trouble seems over, the ship finds itself caught in the tractor beam of a star destroyer, and guests are suddenly caught up in a battle between the Empire and the rebels. Now, a perfectly timed attack by a rebel X-Wing fighter allows them to escape the tractor beam before they quickly become part of the rebellion, accompanying X-Wing fighters in a massive assault on the Death Star. Rex uses the Star Speeder's lasers to take out TIE fighters, while a rebel X-Wing destroys the Death Star in the same way that Luke Skywalker does in Episode 4 A New Hope. A final lightspeed jump brings guests back to the terminal where the journey began, but not before a near collision with a fuel truck upon landing. As guests prepare to leave the vessel, Rex apologizes and lets him know he's still getting used to his programming, and C-3PO alerts guests to exit into the Star Traders gift shop, where they would find exclusive Star Wars merchandise, Star Speeder, 3,000 toys, and action figures of the droids seen in the queue. And I really hope that the mechanical geese were one of those toys. I'm just saying.
Probably.
Probably not, but I was really kind of hoping. So, of course, after its unprecedented popularity, the ride ended up going over to Tokyo Disneyland's Tomorrowland, opening there on July 12th, 1989. Disney's Hollywood Studios got their version on December 15th, 1989, and Disneyland Paris's version opened on April 12th, 1992. Now, Hollywood Studios is the only version that is not in a Tomorrowland in a Disney theme park. You guys know how we feel about Hollywood Studios. And so...
It's my favorite park.
Listen, we love it and we hate it at the same time.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
As usual, in this park, they kind of just like slid it into this, and then like tried to tie it together. Like it's weird. It's in a weird place. It's a whole thing.
So weird.
Remember at the time,
It's only getting weirder.
Exactly. It's only getting weirder. It's only getting weirder. Remember when Hollywood Studios opened, it was supposed to be a working studio lot, so everything was supposed to look like it was a fake set. So they put it in this area that they made to resemble Endor, but as a working movie set. So like that AT-ATs only had, they were only complete from one side because the camera was only going to be viewing it from one angle. And the massive trees that you see on Endor, those existed, but they didn't have any canopies. They're just like cut off at the top, right? So it's like whatever the camera's not going to see, it didn't exist when they themed this area. Um, and guests would still be passengers on the same travel agency tour to Endor, despite having just left Endor. Yeah. Does that make sense? No. But does Hollywood Studios make sense? Not really. So in 1998, discussions
The
around updating the
slander.
ride. Say that again?
The slander.
Look, it's just, it doesn't make sense now. It doesn't make, like,
It's really not going to make sense. It's,
no, no.
uh,
Um, and I will say that they did consider, well, I'll get into this in a minute. One moment, please. In 1998, discussions around updating the ride began, and the original plans were to try and align the updates with the upcoming 1991 release of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Phantom?
Thank you. I was like, I think I'm having a stroke. I cannot say this word. However, it was determined that changing the story to focus on episode 1 would actually make the attraction outdated, as two new upcoming films were going to feature new characters and locations. So Disney officials chose to wait until 2003, when production would begin on Revenge of the Sith, before remodeling the attraction. In 2005, George Lucas confirmed a new adventure was coming to the parks at the Star Wars Celebration 3, which I gather is kind of like a big, like, Star Wars weekend type thing, but it's held in different places. So, like, this one happened to be in Indianapolis. But he announced that Star Wars, the Adventure Continues, was in production. The rides for both Disneyland and Disney World would close in 2010, earlier in the year than they had originally announced, leaving them a little bit more time for renovations and refurbishments. During this time, the simulators were upgraded with advanced motion simulation, which offered a smoother, more dynamic movement, and the attraction was given a new backstory. A new computer-generated 3D film replaced the original, which allowed for a new system that could, you kind of referenced it earlier, could put together different pieces of the film chosen randomly. So when it reopened, guests could now be taken into a new story with 23 randomized segments leading to a different experience each time. The main story focuses on keeping a rebel spy safe, and that rebel spy is a randomly selected person on the ride. I will say, with Star Wars Day and May the 4th being earlier this week, I saw a lot of TikTok videos of people trying to become that rebel spy, and I thought that was a lot of fun. Star Wars The Adventure Continues opened up for Disneyland and Disney World within a month of each other in summer 2011. As the story goes, after the dark times began, C-3PO and R2-D2 were placed in the custody of Captain Antilles. Again, I don't know if I say these wrong. I'm very sorry. Apparently, this happens or is seen in the end of Revenge of the Sith. Now, in the new ride, Captain Antilles had dispatched C-3PO and R2-D2 to assist in the inauguration of the space line for Star Tours agency. This seemingly close relationship between the Rebel Alliance, I can only assume that's because Captain Antilles is part of the Rebel Alliance, I don't really know, and the Star Tours agency caused the Galactic Empire to believe that both entities were in a partnership, and thus has monitored the agency's actions over the years, which, as you can imagine, might result in some trouble. Like you said, C-3PO is an animatronic that is physically in the ride vehicle in this new version, and that's because each ride starts with C-3PO accidentally getting stuck in the pilot seat while doing maintenance on the Star Speeder 1000. And if you're going, Chrissy, that doesn't make any sense. Why would they go from 3000 to 1000? It's because they backtracked the timeline for the new version of the attraction. because that's the way the Star Wars films released and happened.
Mm-hmm.
So confusing. Not that Marvel was any better, but whatever. Um, anyways,
No.
despite objections that he is in fact not a pilot, R2D2 ignores him and the Star Speeder takes off. And from there, the randomized sequences begin and the journey changes with each ride. It seems to me like there's like four main segments that change up after this, and there are five versions, or when it originally opened, there were five versions of three of them, and then six versions of another. Um, so, yeah, just like craziness. So your ride, like, it ended up being one of the most dynamic rides at the time because you never, I mean, in comparison, we know Tower of Terror randomized the number of drops, right? Like that's something that like we all have experienced, but to get to hear a different story every time you go is kind of crazy. Now, once Disney purchased Lucasfilm in 2012, the possibilities became limitless. With each new movie came a new segment, and that new segment came with new cameos of characters. Instead of replacing the existing ride film, new segments were just added into it, kind of compounding and increasing the number of options that you could get. And as we know, later this summer, we're getting a brand new kind of segment or version of it with The Mandalorian and Grogu, which I can only imagine will once again kind of level up the ride. So, and that's where we are today. Which I like it. Like, I hate this ride because it makes me so sick, but after doing all of this, I was like, I kind of want to go on it now.
And I love that they reused Rex.
So that was going to be one of my fun facts. Do you want to tell people about it?
So now Rex is DJ Rex
Yeah.
spinning tunes in Oga's Cantina. Yeah.
Yeah, they gave Rex the boot as a pilot, and now he spins. Yeah. He crash landed, I think, on Batu, and now he just spins.
That's right.
Spins that track. DJ Rex, spin that track. Isn't that a song? There's a song that says something like that. I'm not crazy.
It's probably DJ Khaled.
Probably. Every song is DJ Khaled. So I do have some fun facts if you want to hear about that. So as I said before, the queue alone, like, went through a whole refurb. When they revamped the ride, it was given a $1 million budget just to revamp the queue. Isn't that crazy? Crazy. The background characters in the safety film and the ride itself are actual industrial light and management or management? No, media. What is it? Magic. That's the word I'm looking for. And they're employees who worked on the attraction. When like the safety film, when you see all the people walking into the thing, those are just regular employees having a day, filming a safety video. The Disneyland version held the attendance record until the Indiana Jones ride opened up in Disneyland in 1995. So, yeah, that's kind of crazy. And then the last one was that Rex is reused because he was a bad pilot. So, yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to steal that one.
No, it's totally fine. I thought that one was the most fun out of all of them. So, yeah. I still like having, obviously, like when you watch the Imagineering story and you see this segment, like you see like the lightsaber like cut the thing, and it's been really fun. Excuse me. To see all the ways that the actors who are in the Star Wars films have come to the parks and shown up in the parks and done, everything with the parks and this kind of fandom, especially obviously now that Disney owns Lucasfilm and the Star Wars like IP, but to see like just in general like how much there is. And then of course now today we have the whole Galaxy's Edge, that's where I was going to go with that, is when they were originally thinking about doing Galaxy's Edge and creating this space for Star Wars fans to have within the parks. They had originally planned to put the ride near, like at least over in Hollywood Studios, near Star Tours, and to take over the space that is Echo Lake, and then um, replace where the Indiana Jones stunt show is. Um, so, but they nixed that because they just didn't have enough space for the ideas that they had, and so that's why it's kind of in a funky place. So,
Now, if they would have just went back, got rid of the Muppets back then, and just stuck it right there, since we got rid of them anyways.
yeah, yeah. This is like, I understand when we have separate storylines or things that we feel like should be combined and brought together from, different parks. Um, but like when we have, an IP in one park, but then like we have another version of that IP or something else happening. For example, we're gonna have Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor in Magic Kingdom, but we're gonna have all of Monstropolis now at Hollywood Studios, right? I can understand that because you're not going to every park, but to have the same IP not located near each other in the same park is just kind of crazy to me.
It is. It's wild. I
So,
wish they would have just do, and then they could have stuck Monsters Inc.
mm-hmm,
behind Toy Story Land, and it would
mm-hmm,
have made more sense because they're
yeah.
at least in the same brand of movie.
Right, yeah, they're still all Pixar and
Pixar, yeah,
yeah.
it's crazy.
I mean, I almost said pretend lands, but Star Wars is not factual either, so um
Yeah,
yeah.
no,
No. So obviously if it were up to us, we would be moving around the logistics of all of this. And I
yeah,
think Star Tours absolutely has a place in Batu. I
yeah,
think when you go under the premise that this is a travel agency offering, and now we visit all of these other different places, why couldn't we do that from Batu? So if it were up
yeah,
to us, I think you and I both would move Star Tours into Galaxy's Edge.
yeah. Or figure out a way. It'd be really far to make where you enter into Star Tours over there,
Mm-hmm.
but where you exit into Batu, and you're flying to
Mm-hmm.
Batu.
It
And
can't
then,
be longer
but
than the walkway at Soren.
it's just true. Just like, I don't know, stick it underground.
Mm-hmm.
Stick it on the bottom story or whatever. I don't care. Like, I don't know. They should have made it make sense.
Yeah, I agree. If
But
there was anything that you like, is there anything you would change about the attraction itself?
gosh, I don't know. Because the one time I rode it, it made me super nauseous. But again, I had
Mm-hmm.
nothing in my stomach. And
Yeah.
then my husband and I rode it, and it was fine. Like, I was fine on it. So him and I are both on, like, it's not that bad because it does get a really bad rap. People
Mm-hmm.
hate it, but it usually is a walk on or
Mm-hmm.
a short wait, and the queue is cool. And because you don't see the queue very often, because we don't ride it very often, it's still cool every time.
Right. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't think you could change much about it aside from just the films more.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
Um, I just remembered one of the fun facts was that they parts of the original film that they created for the original attraction ended up going on the and being put into the Star Wars area on one of the Disney Cruise Line ships, and I don't remember which one. But you can see portions of that film there, where they have their
Wow,
Star Wars stuff. So, um, just when you were
that's
talking
cool.
about more stuff from the films, you know,
Yeah.
made me think of that. But yeah, I don't think that there is a way, especially now that we have attractions like Rise of the Resistance and Millennium Falcon, to change up this attraction any further than what we already have. So
Yeah.
aside from like making it into a full blown coaster, I think that, but you can't really do that either because it's like then you're out in the open. So,
Yeah.
and then you just end up being, even if you tried to, you would end up being a Cosmic Rewind type coaster, and we already have one of those. So
Yeah. So I think they take out the trees, even though they're really cool. The
mm-hmm.
whole area is cool. And make it like, okay, this is Earth. You're just randomly at Hollywood Studios in Florida, kind of like
Mm-hmm.
Space 220 does, launching you up there.
Yeah.
You ride the ride. Now C3PO is picking up just humans, like regular old people off Earth. We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna go to Batu, and then do the
Boom.
ride, exit them. I mean, it can't be any longer than the exit of Space Mountain either, because
Yeah,
that takes forever to get off. Uh,
it really does. And there's no more moving walkways, so that's like even
yeah,
more annoying. Yeah. And we would add a moving walkway.
yeah.
Yeah,
With a lot of
I
cool
agree.
things to see in this tunnel, because it'd have to be a tunnel, so
Mm-hmm.
that you could disguise it as something in Montropolis. You know, like the outside of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Something. All I'm saying, Disney.
Once again, we got the ideas. We know you didn't ask for them, but here we are.
Yeah. It could look like some sort of subway for the monsters, and like every once in a while some kind of like video would show a subway going
Oh.
by with the
Mm-hmm.
monsters in it, but really it's just
Mm-hmm.
actual humans down in there. Or
That'd
how
be so
cool would it
cool.
be if you're like going through it and you could see the people in that land, but when they look at you it's somehow like a monster face, like is, you know how we do Snapchat
Oh,
filters, it would be,
yeah.
that would be fun.
That would be so fun. Good idea, Stephanie. I
It ain't
like it.
happening, but that would be cool.
Oh, somebody's gonna listen to this somewhere and take that to Disney and
Yeah.
make money off of
Hey,
it. Might as well be
your
you.
mom, maybe your mom can
Mm-hmm.
write a letter about us.
Yeah.
Send it to Disney.
Hey, listen.
Gonna write him a
Mm-hmm.
letter.
Yeah, I know. I think those would all be great ideas. So, and like I said, now I kind of want to go write it again, and hopefully I wouldn't be. I feel like I was in the same boat the first time or last time I wrote it. Um, we had just gotten done having a giant lunch at 50's Primetime Cafe, and you just can't like you can't write it on an empty stomach, can't write it on a full stomach either.
No, gotta be
So,
right in the middle.
hmm,
A light breakfast,
yep,
and then get on. And
yep.
then when you leave, Baseline Tap House is real close. Just go over there.
Have a little drinky drink, a little snacky
Yep,
snack. Yep.
exactly.
Mhm.
That's all I want to do. Tomorrow morning, I just want to get up, go to Disney, go to like three of my favorite places, and then fly
Mhm.
home.
Mhm. This seems like the perfect Mother's Day gift for you.
Yeah, no. I already got my gift. Really, it's going on a cruise.
Yes, yes. That's how I am. I'm in the
I
same
hope my
boat.
husband didn't hear that. I still want a gift. I gave you babies.
Yeah. Hello. Our bodies were not ours for like 2 whole years. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got something to say over there, honey?
Yeah. What do we get for
No.
snack?
What did you get for snack? The John. The people want to know, what did you end up getting for your snack?
Uh, pizza lunchable.
Oh, a pizza
Oh
lunchable.
my gosh, I love a Lunchable.
Hmm.
I
That
sometimes
actually
will just
sounds
buy
really
them for
delicious.
myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's I don't feed them to my kids. They're too messy.
The nacho one, oh man, I will. My husband used to joke that anytime we went to the grocery store, I would
Hmm.
have to bring one of those home.
I saw one of those the other day, and I don't know what it was, but because I used to eat them like crazy when I was little, but there was something about the cold cheese part that I like couldn't get past this time.
It doesn't bother me. You know what's fun is like now I like salsa. Back in the day, I only liked the cheese.
Oh, see, I feel like I've only ever liked the salsa, but it's darn good salsa.
Really?
Hmm. Or at least it
That's
was.
funny.
But see, now I like spicier things now, so I'm like, oh, well, I get mad when things aren't spicy enough.
And the little tiny, teeny tiny chips are just so
Just the
cute.
teeny tiny chips, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
what gets you.
That's what it is. Yeah, I got mad when they started putting full-size pepperoni in the Lunchable. I was like, where's my little ones?
It's just...
Get out of here.
And when... Oh, I think somebody choked on them. Never mind. They used to have sticks to spread the sauce around.
Yes.
And I think somebody got choked on them, so they don't do that anymore.
Probably.
And that annoys me.
Yeah, because I do. I want an even amount of of sauce on my pizza.
You know what I just saw? Maybe it was this morning on Reels or something. Somebody just broke up the pizza crust into like chip sizes and then dipped took out the pepperoni out of the thingy, dumped the sauce in there, and then dipped into the sauce and then dipped into the cheese and put a piece of pepperoni on it and ate it.
We've been doing this wrong our whole lives.
It's genius. And I was like, I need to get one because that's what I want to do now.
Okay, so that's your homework between now and then.
That's
Buy
right.
a pizza Lunchable. Let me know how that goes.
I love how we just went from Star Tours to
Star Tours to
Lunchables.
Lunchables. Listen, it's podcasting after dark. You never know what you're gonna get.
Yes. Well, what's next?
Okay, so next week we have our pre-recorded episode that we did, which
that's
was, what
did we
was
talk
that
about?
one? Oh, yeah, I was like, what did we talk about? God, it's
I don't
forever ago.
remember.
We've lived whole lives. No, we have Explaining Lightning Lanes. We talk all
Oh,
about
yeah. That's right.
everything
We did
Lightning
that.
Lanes, our episode where we're not gatekeeping anything, so definitely tune in to that episode. Following that, I will be back from my cruise. And because
exciting.
life is crazy, you guys, you lucked out because we are basically just going to have a bunch of live episodes.
Yes.
We don't have any time to pre-record
No.
anything.
No.
So,
we're just going to be live a lot.
Yep. We are going to have I'm looking at our calendar. What do we have? Okay, we've got an episode on like the best value resort. We're going to be talking all the value resorts and the room types and the rest of it. I'll have a Disney Cruise Line recap
Yes.
to put out there. And then we also have a live versus episode again where we are talking about Coronado Springs versus Caribbean Beach Resort.
Yeah.
So you have all of
head-to-head.
those. I know. It's the only time we don't agree on everything.
That's right.
Because we force ourselves not to.
But then in the end we do.
Yeah. And then at the end we say we share the same brain. So
Yeah.
yeah. So that's what's coming up next. Just a bunch of live episodes, and hopefully the ones after that point are not super late in the evening, because yeah, it's gonna be nuts. And I will say the June 4th episode will be me sitting probably on the floor of my house because everything will be packed because we are moving the next day. So yeah. And we might have a special guest for that one too because my little sister will be here to help with the move. So that'll be fun. We'll have
that's
a person.
exciting.
A little person. She's not a little person. She's a normal size.
She's full size. She's full size.
But she's smaller than me and I'm kind of small, but still.
I got you. I know what you mean. We got it.
Anyways.
All right.
So
Well, if it were up to us.
yeah. Well, you'll just have to listen. There it goes. We're going to get there eventually. It's happening. There we go.